Welcome. I'm so excited to have Taylor Francois on today. She's an online marketing expert. Many of you know her, and if you don't, you're not going to want to miss this interview. Taylor, welcome. How are things going for you, Taylor?
It's great. Thanks so much for having me on. Excited to be sharing with your community.
Yeah, so let us know, Taylor, for those of our audience who aren't familiar with the work that you do, tell us a little bit about your business and what you currently do.
There's a few things that we do. I've been a serial entrepreneur now for a decade and a half at this point. And what we primarily do online is that we help other business owners, be it online or brick and mortar, learn how to use the online space in order to acquire clients. And so our claim to fame has been helping people hit those multi six and seven figure milestones by using organic social media. So without paid ads, how can you find leads and convert them? So that's one of the things that we do. And what we've done more recently is we're helping entrepreneurs build authority by getting them placed on television and then being able to have the as seen on features, etc., that they can use as authority boosters so that they don't have to grow big social media numbers, but can point to where they've been featured.
That is so amazing. I love that you help brick and mortar as well, because I know when I was running my brick and mortars, I did really focus on people offline, majority going to events and things like that. So that is really good. Yes,
I had a
awesome.
brick and mortar too. I think we've talked about this at some point. And even though it's different than online, we still all have the same issue. Every month you start at zero and you have to build, right? You've got to get new clients in. You've got to find ways to retain clients and activate them again. Yeah, it's the same for all of us.
Yes. So, what do you help your clients achieve, and what type of transformation do you help them to get?
So I would say that one of the biggest transformations that we help people get is how to be seen in the online space. And even if you have a really small following, where to show up and where to be so that you can convert those viewers into paying clients. And so we focus a lot less on going viral or growing your account to large numbers, which is not going to happen for a lot of entrepreneurs because that's not the space that they're in. They're not influencers. So, our biggest transformation is how do we turn the average entrepreneur's views and online activity into something like daily, weekly sales for consistent income?
Yeah, that's so true. A lot of people, they're afraid of social media because, like you said, they don't have a following. So they're like, oh, why would I waste my time? When in fact, there's a lot of business that they can actually gain from that. So, Taylor, let's go back to the beginning. How did you get into the online space, and tell us about your journey and how you started this business?
So, I got into the online space because of none other than the pandemic, which was really interesting because I'd been an entrepreneur, I'd been doing all the things, and I used online to develop the businesses that I had at that point. And it was great. But then when the pandemic happened and a lot of people who'd never been online came online to start their
Mhm.
businesses or to run them, they had no idea what to do. And so I started hosting trainings and I started hosting classes and webinars and inviting people just to come in and just see what we were doing and find ways that they could also copy some of these frameworks and find success even as a brand new person in the online space. And so we started sharing our frameworks and things. And so now you fast forward all these years later, we generally have a webinar or a training a week. They are generally, I'd say, 98.9% free. And people can come in and they can learn and take those tools and be able to implement them in their business. And then if they want to work with us further, great. But the idea has always been for free, let us teach you the things that we know, because I remember what it was like to not be able to afford a coach. I remember what it was like to figure out things myself by looking online or looking in books or trying to piece together marketing funnels that I didn't know what was going on. And so I just want to be a resource for people that even if you can't pay, just come hang out with us for free and see the knowledge that we have, what you can implement. And even if you implement 10% of it, watch changes show up in your business, then come back and implement some more. So that was our start in the online space. And it grew pretty rapidly because we were on lots of different platforms. We were on TikTok And
Yeah.
we were some of the few people at that point that were on TikTok for the purpose of business only. So we quickly
Mhm.
grew a huge following. People were doing challenges and dances and all that stuff. And we were figuring out how do we just bring the business teaching to a platform like TikTok. And so that was one of the spaces that we really took off in early on. We grew our own Facebook group and then participated in many Facebook groups like yours and borrowed communities and dove into those, and we built followings on YouTube and LinkedIn, like all the things.
Yes.
Yeah, the pandemic really forced the pivot, and that's when we started really sharing everything with people.
Yeah, I remember those days when you were able to tap into TikTok, and that was really exciting to watch you grow over there and just really thrive. Taylor, like yourself, we built businesses before we came online, and so we already had success. And so sometimes people are like, they already are business owners. So tell us about some of the challenges that you had when you first got started, because obviously there were challenges for all of us.
Oh, yeah, and there still are every week, it's sometimes it feels, like, oh, it's something else that we've not thought about or a new problem incurred. But what were some of the challenges? I think one of the biggest and still is as an entrepreneur, finding people who could understand what you were going through from
Mhm.
the sense of business networking, people who wanted to be collaborative as opposed to feeling like competitors. So finding people you could talk to and could understand what you were going through. That was a challenge earlier on because a lot of people worked 9 to 5. They had no idea. What do you mean you're doing this online and you have this
Yeah.
business? Where's the business? What's the address? It's online. And then people didn't understand. They didn't understand that. Another thing that I would say was one of the hardest things, and I think it's still relevant now, is quieting the noise because there's so many opinions about where you should be online and what you should
Yes.
be doing and what funnels you should have. And if you don't have this or that, you're not going to be successful and grow this and grow that and be everywhere. All of those things were a challenge at the beginning because you hear these things and you want to implement, especially those of us who've been successful in other areas of our life and we're go getters. So you want to implement, but it's not realistic to implement
Mhm.
every single thing. And
Yeah.
everything, even though it's working for someone else, might not be your thing. And recognizing that and staying in your own lane.
All things work, I feel like, when you're consistent and you're in your space and your zone of genius.
Right.
So I love that you bring that up. So you guys can stop trying to figure out, should I jump over to TikTok? Should I jump over to stay with Facebook? Because I
Yeah.
think that's the question that a lot of people are asking today. And I was going to ask you another question too. And this goes back to the pandemic days, about when you realized this business could work. But I want to change that question now because we know it worked for you and it worked for a lot of people. But there are a lot of people who left the online space because things were going really well for people during the pandemic and for a year or two after that. And then we saw this shift where a lot of people left the online space. So, when did you know now that this still works for you? Or did you have to make any changes to your business model after that rush of all these new people coming online? Right?
Yeah. So there were a lot of new people, as you said, that came online during the pandemic time. And I hear this come up in murmurs all the time about, well, the coaches and people that ended up leaving and agency owners and so forth. I don't, I would say that the people, like the true people, the real ones, they always stick around. And so for me, I knew that we had a quality product. It was really important for us to deliver to our clients, and that's something that we go out of our way to do. It was really important to have a plethora of free information so that if people couldn't become clients now, that they'd have something to use and that those people later would reward us by becoming clients when they had the money to do. So I felt like nothing has really dipped for us at any point because we've been consistent with the foundational things. Like any business, we make some changes sometimes. For instance, we add new legs to the business, like adding the TV component. And so now we've got a media company, which is incredible. And we're getting people featured on television and Apple TV and Roku and Amazon. It's very cool. But then that required a little bit of a pivot to say, okay, where's the audience that wants that? And is that different than the list that we currently have? And where do we want to build that? And is it
Yeah.
still Facebook or TikTok, or is it somewhere else, right? Those are the small pivots, but I think those are natural
You definitely have to evaluate what's happening and make changes as the marketplace changes, and your audience might also be shifting in terms of what they want and desire.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And so you talked a little bit about Facebook groups already, Taylor. So we're going to really dive into that topic now. How did you first discover successful women entrepreneurs, which is my community that you're in? And we respect you as one of the leaders inside of our space.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I came across your community very early on when we were delving into the Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group community. It's got about 40,000 people in one, and we've got different numbers. But we quickly realized that, and while I love our community and I love all the Facebook groups that we've grown, it made sense as well to go to communities that were already built, that were well served by the founders like yourself. So you have a group that you've curated, that you're serving on a daily basis, you're monitoring the group, and it has a high quality. And
Mhm.
because of that, it made sense for us to go into those groups, provide free information, share with those audiences. And then those people would join our email list or come to a webinar or something like that. And so what we noticed early on was that your group had high quality. There were not a bunch of spammers in the group. There were not a bunch of people who were making very wild promises. And there weren't people who were only freebie seekers. We found that in your group, there are people who are quality. And yes, they may want a lead magnet, but that's just the getting to know you point.
Yeah.
They absolutely do have the money to invest and are willing to do so once we prove ourselves as being worthy of such. So it was really nice to find your group because it really stood out. And there are groups that are smaller than yours, there's groups that are bigger than yours, but for me, it was really the quality. And to this day, we recommend people who are in our programs, our private clients, to join your community because it really is, in my opinion, the best group for female entrepreneurs on the internet.
Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate that. And you guys, Taylor is dropping so much gold. A couple things that she's already mentioned. She's very consistent. A lot of you guys are showing up and not really staying consistent, or you might be consistent, but if you're not getting the results you want, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. She's also talked about how she's borrowing other people's audiences to get clients. And that is something that a lot of people don't really take advantage of. Taylor, when you started posting in our community, what did you do differently that helped you get traction?
We always posted from a point of value, right? So we never went in and we said, buy this coaching offer, this
Mhm.
five-figure coaching offer. We also didn't go in and say, buy this $27 digital product. We never did that. What we did was we surveyed the group to see what is it that people are looking for, what's important to them right now, and then what do we have in our free product suite that would meet that need of the community at this time. And then we would post and give people, here's our framework for whatever, and here it is in a PDF that you can have for free. And then people would comment and then they would respond to that. So that's something that we found that was really great. We've also done lives in your group, which has also been very great. And so I tell even our students here, the students in my programs, when they are posting their first webinar and they don't have a big audience, get a membership in Star's community and then host your webinar in that community. And even if
Yeah.
you don't have a bunch of registrants, you're going to have more eyeballs than you would if you open up a Zoom room that nobody's going to be in except you and you. So
Exactly.
this, yeah, these are the things.
And a lot of people also catch the replay inside of my community too. So there's still eyes and traffic that are coming to those events. So I love that you're teaching your clients how to do that. So what's your strategy for getting clients from the Facebook group? We talked a little bit about that.
So we always go in first with what can we give? How can we serve? So what is the community looking for now? We provide it to them in something tangible that they can have right away, a digital product or something that they can get immediately. And
Mhm.
then from that we'll look and we'll say, okay, there's enough people here who have opted in and they like this topic. Okay, we might host a webinar about this topic. And then we host a webinar, we invite people, that same community, back via email, and then we might even post another post in your group now saying we have a training on the topic. Again, at this point, we're not charging any money for anything. We're just
Yeah.
giving people free value. And then they come and they attend those events. And then can buy whatever it is that we're selling at the end of it. Or we might not even sell something right away. We might continue to nurture them for a certain amount of days and then open up a special offer that has a
Mhm.
limited time to those people. So there's a lot of touch points that have happened before we've asked for anything. And yet at every touch point, we have over delivered.
Yeah. So you're building your authority, you're nurturing, you're doing all the incredible things before asking for money. A lot of people do hop into the group and say, oh, buy this thing. And they're like, my post is not getting any traction because you're selling. Nobody knows who you even are. Thank you
And
so
this, and to your point, this is the problem. I feel like a lot of times entrepreneurs that we're what I love about us as entrepreneurs is that we're go-getters. And I love about us that we're willing to stick our neck out there and try something that other people in our homes and our families might not be willing to do, which is
much.
great. And at the same time, entrepreneurs are sometimes, for lack of a better term, they're really into themselves. And they assume that everyone knows who they are. Everybody's hearing about their offer all day long. It's, we don't even know who you are. Maybe in your world, you're a big deal, but the world is way bigger than your world. And people don't know who you are. So you have to educate people. And especially in a group like yours, where every day you're getting thousands of people who are in, we can't assume that the people who just entered the group today know who the heck I am.
Yeah.
Maybe the people who've been there in the past have, but with such a large number of people, how can we make the assumption that everyone knows me? They don't know.
Exactly.
They don't know us. And so we have to educate people on who we are, what we've done, where we've been featured, what our accolades are, what we've done for clients lately, and it's our job to continue that education if we're expecting people to move and do something. And so this is also why we have so many touch points where we're sharing information for free. So not only are we saying, hey, we've been featured in Forbes, we've been in Business Insider, we're in GQ, we're on Apple TV. That's great. But also, here's a touch point. Here's what it's like to work with us. And the only thing you have to invest is a click of a button to get the download or to just show up for 30 minutes to this live. And if you don't like it, you never have to hear from us again. But we know you're going to like it. Because it's a good
Taylor's really good at her work, guys. And you're so right. There are like billions of people who log into Facebook every day, just like TikTok. And so, just to make that assumption that people are going to just spend money with you, you definitely have to nurture them. So, you've done an incredible job at doing that in our community and consistently showing up as well. What do you look for when writing a really good post that attracts attention or leads?
So I'm looking for first calling out who the post is for. Who am I searching for? Who's this relevant to? Because if you make it broad, people will count themselves out and say, "Oh, it's not for coaches, it's not for service providers, it's not for this." No, this post is for coaches, okay? Or it could
Mhm.
be for coaches with premium offers. And then we talk about what the pain point is that they have or who are looking for or something like that. And then we'll talk about in the third line what we have that is a simple framework or solution to that problem. And then in the fourth line, we'll give them a direct call to action of what they need to say or do to get access to this free framework or tool that we have or PDF. And that's how we pose it because you don't get a lot of space, especially on these written posts. And you don't want to put too
Yeah.
many words where it's not easy to read. So people just need to see, oh, it's for me. Yes, I have this pain point. Oh, they have a solution. Oh my goodness, it's free. Ah, yes, all I have to do is comment below and I'm getting the thing. That's our framework.
Thank you so much for sharing that. We know you get a lot of traction in our group and other communities. I see you online doing really well with these lead generation posts. So thanks for giving that value to our audience. I want to talk a little bit about your results that you've gotten from our group in terms of cash flow, leads, clients, partnerships, anything along those lines you're willing to share?
So, what we can say is that we get hundreds of new leads a week. We get hundreds of new leads a week from the group. And our leads, they generally convert very well because we've got a really good nurture sequence on it. But it also is a testament to the quality of people in Star's group. So I definitely want to say that. We have formed a variety of collaborations from the group. So people that we've connected with that we would have never met before, that we do email collaborations and we might do email swaps, or people who we partner with and do joint ventures, or people who we've connected with in your group and then we find out we're going to the same business conference and then we connect there and then we do a business deal and next thing it's six-figure plus outcomes from these things. So it's all of the little things that you don't necessarily think add up to much that become wow. Because people think, what are you doing with a few hundred leads a week? What is that? But they convert. You can't expect people to just purchase from you, as we said, immediately off the bat. So it's been fantastic. I would say that the group has definitely, over the years, produced for us very high six-figure plus and possibly beyond, right? It's been a good quality group and there's nothing like it.
Thanks, Taylor. I want to talk a little bit more about impact and passion. What has building this business made possible for you personally?
It has allowed me to live on my own terms and to create the life of my dreams. So if I'm thinking of all the things that I've ever wanted in my life, what did I picture my life to be like? I am a lot closer to that, or probably living beyond what I ever thought I would have as a young girl, because the freedoms that this business has provided, right? So I can work from anywhere in the world. I can set my schedule as much or as little as I want. And I've got the ability to choose to work with the variety of clients that I want, which is fantastic. And so it's really opened up a lot of doors and it's allowed me to be a mom of four to some incredible kids and be with them and also provide experiences to them that they would never have. In 24, we were at the Paris Olympics and we were still doing business as usual on the train going there. This is like a normal everyday thing for us. So we were just at March Madness, which was fantastic, and had a really big week there thanks to this online business that allows us to do business wherever we go and still be present with family. So that's why I
Yeah.
love entrepreneurship.
You saw my face lit up. I love that. Being able to provide for your family, but also give them those real life experiences that maybe we as children didn't get to experience. I love that. I see your girls, they're also getting involved in business too now. It's so fun to
Mhm,
watch. If you guys
mhm.
are not following Taylor, follow her. You can see her beautiful kids and what they're getting into as well. And my kids are also interested in business. So we're definitely creating impact for our families. And the money is good, right? But do you actually enjoy what you do? And if so, what do you love most about the work that you do?
I don't know what else I would do. So most people who, if you followed me, you probably know that I went to law school, I passed the California bar, and I am not practicing law, right? So I have to really love this because who would have done that, all that work and all that money for law school? So I love what I do, and I feel like it's God's gift to me, and I'm really grateful to have the gift to be able to teach people how they can create the life of their dreams by building a business that is also sharing their gifts. Because I'm a big believer in the fact that we all have a gift. It's something that is monetizable. It's something that others are willing to pay for, and it could be turned into a business. And so a lot of people sometimes don't know how to do that. They're sharing
Mhm.
those skill sets with an employer who's getting rich and they're not, an employer who's getting to spend time with their kids and you're not. And so this business provides that. And then there's entrepreneurs playing on hard mode, the ones that are doing the 60, 70-hour weeks and they're not having the time to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And so showing people that there is another way is very exciting to me and very on purpose. And so that's the impact that I want to leave. And also, I would say there are a lot of times in life where we have to get permission to get to the next level. So if you're working a job, someone has to promote you, or someone has to say that you're ready for the next level in a sport or whatever. And entrepreneurship is the unlock. We're not asking anyone's permission. We're just going to get what is ours. And I love that about it. So there's no cool guys club, cool girls club. Like it's your own club and you're the head of it. You decide and you
Exactly.
unlock yours.
Yeah, when I had my son, I had a six-figure job and I was like, "Okay, I've made it. I've got my MBA and all these things," and at the end of the day, it's this is not my business. I would be walking around corporate, no, I need my own thing, and I actually went to school for business too, and I did business classes in high school, I got my MBA, And I was like, why am I doing this for somebody else? It's just not what I want to do. And so many of you guys who are still working corporate and you think this is not possible, it really is. Follow a lot of what Taylor's sharing with you today, and you can actually create a successful business online. And Taylor's really proof of that as well. So thanks so much for sharing your story, Taylor. So, what advice would you give someone in the community who wants to grow their business, Taylor?
I would say if you want to grow your business, you should take daily actions to do it. And every day should be a moment of movement, meaning that you are making invitations to your offers. You are perfecting how you speak about your offer and how you speak about yourself as the person who's created this offer, and having intentional conversations that always end in an invitation of some sort. Now, an invitation doesn't mean join my $10,000 program or join my $27 offer. An invitation can be come get, here's my free framework. Where can I send this to you? What's your email? Come join my webinar. And those sorts of things move people along. And if you're intentional with the time in your day by making movement and invitations and positioning, working on your positioning, things will move in your business. Business doesn't have to take a long time. I think people are used to this idea, oh, it's going to be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months until we build something. No, you can build something today. You can
Yeah.
get customers today. It's not a waiting game. But a lot of times people are thinking, I didn't get any customers today. And I always ask my clients, how many invitations did you make today? Because you're not Walmart, right? You're not Walmart, you're not Target. People can't go buy the toilet paper on your website. They don't even know who you are.
Exactly.
And they don't even know your website. So if you're not making the invitation and letting people know things, then people aren't rejecting you. You're just not making invitations. And even if they are rejecting you, you don't even know these people and you'll never see them again. So ask anyway.
I love it. It's like when you have a brick and mortar, and I tell people this, if you were running a brick and mortar and people were not are not coming into your physical location, there's a huge problem. But yet
Yes.
online, you're afraid to sell. You're never going to grow your business if you're not selling. And part of that sales process is, like you've already stated, is nurturing, providing that value. So you're just giving so much solid advice here. What's one mistake that you see creators making that's actually slowing them down?
I think people worrying about building their own following on individual social media platforms, be it Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, is a huge mistake and a waste of time because those things take time because the algorithms are what they are. The
Mhm.
algorithms are not meant for you to blow up overnight, which is why maybe 0.1% of people blow up overnight. So you need to be intentional and go into other communities, borrow audiences, and stop wasting time so that you can make offers and share your services with a community that's already built. Why build from scratch when you could go there? So that's one of the biggest mistakes, especially for people saying, I want to make money now. This is my big year. Well, it can't be your big year of making money now and growing your following on Instagram from 0 to 1 million. It's not going to happen. Those two things are not
Exactly.
going to happen at the same time.
Yeah, very solid advice. And Facebook groups are still working. A lot of people are like, oh, Facebook is no longer working. It's absolutely working,
Yeah.
like you said, Taylor. So, for anyone who's watching this, how can people connect with you, Taylor, and get more information on what it's like to work with you?
So what you can do is you can go to Coach COACH like Taylor biz.com. CoachTbiz.com. That's one of the easiest ways to find us. And when you go there, which is our main page, you can find all of our social media handles at the bottom and you can check us out. Feel free to send a DM and connect with us. You can also find us in Starr's group, okay, which is incredible. We're there all the time and every day. We don't plan on going anywhere. So you can find us there. And those would be the next steps. And if you go to this website, you'll be able to get some, we've got some PDFs and different trainings that we have that are all free, which is a great place to get started if you're unfamiliar with us.
Are there any programs or offers, such as resources, that you want to talk about on this call today that people can check out?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things I'm really excited about right now. One of them is we have a new program that is out that's helping service-based entrepreneurs get featured on television. So there's a guarantee on that. And what we do is we have partnered with one of my friends who runs the ads for Amy Porterfield. And so what we've done is we partnered on this. So after you get featured on television, we then run ads to your television feature so that you are seen everywhere. So if people don't know your name today, by the time we run these ads, they're going to be retargeted and redirected. They're going to say, oh, wow, that's the person who does XYZ. And that level of authority is going to make it much faster for people to start purchasing from you. And so it's called the Authority and Ads Experience, which is incredible. So we handle all the production and we teach you how to run the ad component yourself so that you're not having to spend a lot of money having an agency do it. And it can be as little as $5 a day. So if you're interested in that, you can even use the contact us form that's on the website, coachtbiz.com. So that's one of the things I'm super excited about. And then the second is our mastermind called the Accelerator. So it's an opportunity to work with us for 6 months where we do everything from fixing your current offer or helping you build one, building your authority, walking you through a sales process that works for your lifestyle, and then showing you how to scale all of that to multi-seven and beyond, multi-seven figures and beyond in a truncated time frame. So those are the things that we've got going on. And in the accelerator, we work with AI. So one of the biggest things that I see is that people go into these masterminds and they are getting a lot of information, but they're not actually implementing. And our mastermind is that we give you frameworks and we have an AI system that's built out that knows our exact frameworks for going viral, getting clients, closing sales. And you'll be able to plug in your business into this system using our frameworks. And it gives you exactly how we would do your email marketing or your DMs or your post in Stars group, all of that, so that it follows our template as opposed to just regular AI that's taking from so many different models and pieces of.
Yeah. I love that. So definitely go head on over to Coach T B I Z, coachtbiz.com. Those are some fantastic offers that you're running, Taylor. So you guys head on over there, get more information. You can also send Taylor a DM as she's indicated. She's amazing to work with. You'll definitely get some results working with Taylor. And so, Taylor, thank you so much for sharing your story and your insights about what's happening inside of successful women entrepreneurs. And for anyone who's watching, stories like Taylor's are exactly why I built this community. We have over 500,000 women entrepreneurs inside of this group. And so there's opportunities for you to get new opportunities, collaborations, and clients every single week. So if you're not already inside of Successful Women Entrepreneurs, make sure that you join and use the links in the description. And don't forget to check out Coach T and join her communities as well.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Taylor. I really appreciate your time today.